Hello Livewires, Heather Boyd Wire here, and welcome to day 10, the last day of the Wire Bracelets to Make, Gift, and Sell challenge. Today we're making some fun name bracelets. I have this chunky 12 gauge aluminum wire bracelet with the name Amber and a wire name bracelet in a frame. Here's the entire collection from the challenge. I'm so impressed with everybody's amazing creations so far. Check out all the details about the challenge in the description below the video. Be sure to join my 10-day challenges Facebook group. If you're too late for this challenge, there will be more coming up in the new year. And you can check out all the playlists on my channel for previous challenges. So without further ado, let's get wired. I'm using 20 and 22 gauge artistic wire and 12 gauge aluminum wire. My tools are the Beadalon Slimline Series chain nose and round nose pliers, their Glimmer Series nipper tool, their nylon jaw pliers, and their bail making pliers. I will start with 36 inches of the 12 gauge aluminum wire, and I'm going to measure about 7 to 8 inches to start the first letter. We are going to form the letter A. I will link up tutorials for all the letters and names in the description below the video. So we are going to just eyeball it and form the letter A, bringing the wire across, using the chain nose pliers to make a sharp bend, and using the bail making pliers to make the curves. We're going to do the M, bring the wire down, and get the chain nose pliers to make a sharper bend to bend the wire to the back. Squeeze it with your fingers and continue with the bail making pliers. I'm using the second size to make the curve of the M. You can use round nose pliers if you have them. Continue with your letter M, squeezing the wire, taking the bail making pliers to bring it down for the second hump. Wiggle it around so it's more or less the same size. Don't worry if it's precise because it looks nice when it's a little bit more wobbly and a little more artistic looking. Especially with the spirals. This is just a really fun design. It's a little on the fragile side because the aluminum is soft. It's definitely a novelty bracelet. This aluminum comes in many colors. I'll link up all my materials. I've used this in previous tutorials to make some really funky earrings. We'll bring the wire around for the B, making a round form, and then going in to make the E. This wire is so fun to work with. It's really soft. You feel like you're sculpting with wire. And then we have our last letter, R. Bring the wire up, straight up, wiggle it around, and get your chain nose pliers to make a sharper bend, bending the wire to the front and then out to make the R, and then bend it to the back. Curve it down, and then we'll bend it out. So we have our name. You can do any little adjustments that you need. Get the nylon jaw pliers to press it a little bit to even it out. Now we'll get the bail making pliers and we're going to make some funky spirals. Bring the wire around, wiggle it around, pull the wire, pull it around. These are really free form. Don't worry about them being too precise. I'm going back and forth with the spirals, different directions. We want them to be different on both sides. Just go with it. You can add some beads if you like. Bring the wire around. And then the other way, around and around. Wiggle it around, go around twice. We're going to measure it so it's about 7 or 8 inches depending on the size of your wrist. Clip the end flush. Take the bail making pliers and we're going to make a closed loop on the end. Bring it around, continue it a bit to make a spiral. Go around to the other side and do the same. Clip it flush. Take the bail making pliers and bring the wire around into a closed loop and continue it to make a spiral. From that point we can get the nylon jaw pliers to squeeze the wire in a little bit. Adjust it by hand so it's in the position that you like. Just keep wiggling it around. Make sure it's more or less even. You could go in with the nylon jaw pliers again just to press the wire together, and there is amber. And get our bracelet mandrel, bring it around, press it against the mandrel, just push it in with your fingers, squeeze it, remove it from the mandrel. You can do some little adjustments to even it out. It just pops on. You can add a little clasp so it won't come undone if you prefer. This bracelet is so much fun, definitely a novelty, and looks so pretty with the purple wire. For the next one, we are going to use some 20 gauge artistic wire. You can use German wire if you want it to be a little bit more firm. Bend it in half. It's about 20 to 24 inches of the 18 gauge wire. Use the bail making pliers to make a little loop at the end. Crisscross those wires and then bend the wires out on both sides. For this one, we are going to make a wave pattern. I'll be showing some alternate methods of making the band at the end of the tutorial. We'll just go in with our bail making pliers and do a wave. So back and forth, just wiggling the pliers as we go. Don't worry if it's perfectly even, and we'll do the same on the other side so they more or less match with the first wave. Back and forth, rotate your wrist to make the wave. And I did about 8 of these. Depends on the size of your wrist. 8 seems to be a good amount. And it also depends on the length of your name. We'll go in and press it with the nylon jaw pliers. Take about 10 inches of the 22 gauge artistic wire. Bend it around twice to attach those 2 wires in the center of the wave. So around twice. You could have started at the end. I started it in the middle. Around twice, skip over and go around twice. Continue until we've attached the waves. Clip the end flush with the nipper tool and go around and continue attaching the wires until we get at the middle there. So give it a good little tug, making sure the wires stay beside each other. You might have to adjust them a little bit as you go. And bring that wire around once and twice and skip over to the next one. You could also add beads if you prefer. I was trying to keep these ones a little more simple. I've done this style of earring before with the beads. It's a fun design. Clip the wire flush. pinch it in with the chain nose pliers and go in with the nylon jaw pliers to even it out a little bit. We're going to start the names, so I took about 12 to 15 inches of artistic wire. It really depends on the size of your name, how many letters, and we are going to do Miriam. For the sample, I had done Sharon. I'm going to show it at the end of the video. Miriam is a little more tricky because you have the Y where the tail hangs down, so it's a little harder to center that in the middle of the bracelet, but you will see, depending on your name, how you're going to make it and how you're going to make it fit in the frame. Continue. I'm using the round nose pliers. I'm trying to do this quite small, and I will link up all the tutorials for the letters, and there's a lot of names that I've done in the past, so I have a playlist of all those tutorials. I will link them up. And I also have an ebook on how to make wire letters and names that I'll link up in the description of the video. So back and forth, just continue with the name, trying to make it quite small. The 20 gauge works quite well with this, with the artistic wire. It's pretty flexible. You could use the German wire, but the German wire is considered to be half hard, whereas the artistic wire is dead soft and it is easier to work with. We're going to bring the wire around. I'm also experimenting with doing name bracelets with my new engraver, so look forward to some tutorials with that, and you can do them with metal stamping. We'll continue along. Now we're doing the last M, bringing the wire up, and I'm alternating bringing the wire to the front and to the back so it will sit a little more flat. Just wiggle it around until they're the right height. Back and forth, squeezing as you go with your fingers. I cut my wire a little long, but better too long than too short. So we've got our name, and now we're going to attach it at the left side. So bring the wire around a couple of times to attach it in the frame, clip it flush, and pinch it. We're going to form the frame around the name. It really depends on how big you've made your name. It's better to do the name first and then make the frame around it. Form the frame. Do the wave again once we've established our frame. I'm just starting it with the round nose pliers, and we'll do the same on the other side. Do the first little wave. You could also make them more zigzag with flat nose pliers, and we will attach the other end of the name in the first wave. Bring the wire around 2 times, clip it flush, and go in with the chain nose pliers to pinch in the pokey end. Do the rest of the waves with the bail making pliers. So back and forth to create 8 of those waves. Give them a little pinch with the nylon jaw pliers. Add the 22 gauge artistic wire to hold the waves together. Going around twice in between each one, and at the end we are going to finish it off with another loop. So we're going to bend one of the 20 gauge wires around the other, clip it to secure it in place to finish it up, and we will clip the 22 gauge wire on both ends, pinch them in with the nylon jaw pliers, Bend the 20 gauge wire out and create a closed loop. Hold it and bring the wire around once, tugging it firmly. Clip the end. Pinch it with the nylon jaw pliers to straighten everything out. You can do any little adjusting you want with your hands too. You might have to go in with your chain nose pliers to straighten out the letters a little bit and get them to fit in the frame. This one is tricky with the Y. Bring it around the mandrel to make it round. Push it right in there. You could give it a little hammer if you want to on the metal mandrel. I'll link up a tutorial for the clasps in the description below the video. We'll add the clasp in one end of the bracelet, close it up, and it just hooks right on there. Give it a little pinch. Here's the finished bracelet. It's super fun. Here's the one I just made with Miriam and the one I filmed previously with Sharon. I will link up other tutorials for other fun name bracelets. The sky is the limit for the designs. You can even put the name on a chain for a simple bracelet. Thanks so much for watching the video. Be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making tutorials. Join the private Facebook group for my 10-day challenges. You can share your photos of your bracelets for the duration of the challenge. Be sure to check out the description below the video for all the details about the challenge. Have fun with your bracelets, and we'll see you the next time.